Yo, what's up, good people? What's up with it? What's up with it? What's up with it? You know who I am. I'm Dr. Woods, and welcome to the R.A.W approach. Hey, we're going to get it in tonight. I want everybody to sit back, relax, and just enjoy yourself to the fullest, if you know what I mean. Hey, always remember, like and share and like. Let's keep this thing moving. And hey, hit us with them stars. Let us know that you appreciate the content. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, I want to say I appreciate you for joining in with us, not just on tonight, but every night that you are up in the house with us. You know what I'm saying? The R.A.W approach is in the house, and we are live. We are live. We are live. We have a special guest. He calls himself the Husky Hefe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stage, big dog. What up with it, dog?
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, it's none other than the guy, man. Husky Hefe, the fat fitness model, Jose Cortez himself. And you can't forget Jutro.
All right, big dog. I'm going to let you have it for a quick second, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I know you said something. I don't think no one understood it. Like I didn't understand it, but slow it down. Let them know who you are one more time, man.
So my name is Joshua, but I go by Husky Hefe. That's just code for the big boss, Husky, Hefe. The fat fitness model, yeah. And I go by Jose Cortez. I got all these alias, but the ones that y'all need to remember is Husky Hefe, and that's the big boss, man.
Did you call yourself the fatness? What do you say?
Oh yeah, the fat fitness model. It's a play on words.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. If you're not confident in you can't expect no one else to be confident in you.
Hey, confidence goes a long way.
What you said, go mob in the house all the day long, man. We're gonna just go ahead and dive on into this, man. We're not gonna hold up. I like that, man. So what exactly is the Husky Lab before we go into anything else?
So the Husky Lab it's a creation that I formulated. I got my bachelor's degree in chemistry, and I was just thinking of something creative to do. I always think about using my talent, so I said, what better way than a laboratory? That's what I was used to, and so life is an experiment. We'll talk about that, but yeah, so that's what the Husky Lab is, and you go on the huskylabofficial.com and you can see some of the things I do as far as catering, food, some videos and things of that nature, even podcasts. So yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, well let's go take it on. Sure. Creating your own lane, man. Let's talk about that. What you got for the folks?
Creating your own lane. That was kind of the idea with the Husky Lab, was to hone in on the talents that Joshua possessed, and just make something that culminates everything. So creating your own lane. I had a principal in high school, and he said something. Well, it was middle school when he said it. Yeah. And he was like, once you create your own, your own job or your own employment, like it's like life opens up for you. So I always kept that in mind. So when people say they go through life and they're wondering what to do, before I just want to sit at your table, I create my own table. I'll put my own food on the table. I decorate it my way. I'll be the Martha Stewart of my own life. So
that's very important, because a lot of people, Dr. Cochran wrote a book called, don't get me wrong, but he spoke about it, dealing with creating your own table. And not only that, as you just said, the importance of bringing your own food. You know what I'm saying? Because if you sit at other people's table, they're controlling that outcome.
Yes, sir.
You got to put yourself in a situation sometime where you can control the outcome. You can control what's been digested. So that's very critical. So when you identify the things that you want to digest at your table, what is one thing that stands out when you say creating your own table? What is the one thing that stands out to Josh that makes it your table? What is something that you want at that table that you probably wouldn't get at somebody else's table?
freedom to be yourself. That's the biggest thing. Freedom to be yourself. How can I put this? Growing up in Memphis, and I shout out to my cousin Ernest, who would come down to see me. I was in theater, and I had friends that laughed at it, and I ended up being so good that they gave me a scholarship and wanted to give me a scholarship back to the summer conservatory. But I learned then just to be myself, like just freely create, because people gonna laugh because we always got speculators that I wouldn't do that. But if you live at the beat of somebody else's drum, like if you at somebody else's table, then they dictating what they want to see. And when it's all said and done, when your number called, hey, did you do what you wanted to do? So that's the biggest thing I want to freedom. That's what Josh bringing.
Well, I think you said something that spoke volume just right there. Is you're going to have people just in life, friends, family, foes, or whatever, that's going to always sometimes put you in a situation be like, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go to them and respond, you not me, and I'm cool with it because this is me and this I'm living my life. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always have spectators or people that want to critique what you're doing. But when they get the opportunity and you ask them how they live in their life, then they don't want you in that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we as people cannot be afraid to speak our own piece.
Talking.
And that's where, no matter how you look at it, whether it's dealing with an organization, whether it's becoming a leader in the organization, becoming a leader for yourself, we all make decisions and we got to learn to stand on them decisions. Stand on it, stand in it, and stand with it. That's what we have to do, period. Yeah. Without no second thought. You know what I'm saying? I think I talked with you yesterday that there's a lot of people, especially football season coming up. This is perfect. There's a lot of people that they call Monday morning quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are people that seen the whole game, and now they can critique everything about what someone should have done. But we all can do that. But when you in that game and you in that at that live moment, you got to learn to make decisions on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And those are decisions that you have to make at that moment, at that time. And those are the best decisions that you have. Hey, stand in it, stand on it, and stand with it. Who gives a damn about what somebody else say? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That part. And then with the young folks, used to say that part.
Man, they change everything now.
They change everything. All right. You got anything else on that creating your own lane, man? I like that.
Nah, I think the biggest thing, like I said, just everybody should be free to do and create what they want to create. Yeah. It may not agree with everybody's values. But if you ain't doing nothing heinous, hurting nobody, hey man, my hands up. Do you just be safe, Just
be safe at it. All right. Appreciate that. Let's go to this one. Debunking what you think you know. Let me correct that. Debunking what you think you know.
Oh, well, you want me to go ahead and stab at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, cool. I'm going to take the knife out. I'm going to go ahead and stab at it. But nevertheless, debunking what you think you know. You don't know everything. That's just a mindset that I've adopted over I say the past few years. I was very selfish in a way that I thought, right? And you think you know everything until you don't know everything. And you have to so with that being said, you look at somebody who may give you a different perspective on things, and their perspective may put a whole nother layer to what you thought you knew. So take for instance, when we talked maybe a month or two ago, and you gave me a great analogy about a man providing and what we look for. And I didn't think, I was like, we just provide just to do it. And you was like, no, bro, we really like hone in and want to do that. Like that's, all the women now, including my wife. What's the love language? Bro, that's like an innate love language that men, we have to provide. Like, and the way you broke it down, I was like, hold on, I never thought that way. I thought it was just this one way. This what a man do, this what, and then the way you broke it down, I was like, it debunked what I thought I knew.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, and with going with the whole debunking thing, you got to always, it makes you always keep your mind open. You know, even if like we just talk about being in leadership roles and making them decisions on the fly. Hey, sometimes you got to be a little bit like, hey, this might be the normal way, but right now I got to make this decision. Like you said, y'all can watch the tape on Monday.
Right.
But when that game, my head on the swivel, I can't, in the helmet, you ain't got too much. You ain't got too much, but so somebody finna knock on that door. So you better make your next move your best move. So it kind of keep my mind free to kind of think like, Chop could be feeling this. I mean, Dr. Woods could be feeling this way.
Either way is good, brother. Either way is good. But you know, the thing with what I like about you bringing about debunking what you think you know is that there is a lot of things that we all as a whole deal with. And we cannot be afraid to learn something else new. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, learning never stops.
Facts.
And one of the biggest thing is we have to continue to understand we cannot be the smartest person in that group. We cannot be the one that's always giving the advice. We cannot be the one that always have something prolific to say in our group. And it's not saying that the group that we were in is no longer good for us. We are no longer growing.
Yeah.
They are growing if they're using what you're saying. But you got to find somebody that can pour into you, number one. You got to find somebody that can give you a different perspective and show you other strategies on how to move. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things that comes with debunking. And a lot of it starts with self.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's the catch. You got to start with self. And a lot of people don't like to check self.
Ego.
People don't like to check self is because that shit hurts when you check self. But you can bounce around. You know, you got people that can bounce around and give all the best advice on everybody else what they should do. But when it's time to eat your own food, you don't want to eat it because it don't taste as good from when you were serving to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. You gotta be able to pour into you before you start pouring into other people, and you got to be able to effectively and efficiently accept your own criticism.
Yeah.
You got to be able to effectively and efficiently make a plan, and not only make that plan, follow through with the plan. You know what I'm saying? But in today's society, so many people want to give that advice to other people, and they're not doing nothing for themselves. And until you look up, years and years have passed, and you sitting here discussing the same thing.
Man,
so much.
Like you said, I think the biggest thing is, like you said, checking yourself, checking your ego. I started to read a lot, I probably started to read a lot, and it was this book, Eckhart, I think it's about Eckhart Tolle, and he I think it was about the new earth or whatever, but it kind of talked about ego and made me understand ego a lot. Like, you got to check that. You got to check that at the door. Like, I'm not always right, bro. And I always try to take the mindset of what was my part in it. And even if something goes wrong or something don't go as planned and I ain't on the same level as a partner or blah, blah. What was my part in it? Did I speak up? Was I fair to understand? Was I shut off? Because, hey, the one thing you can try and check your ego, but he gonna come. I'm right back. Like, it's just with you. And in today's society, you got to fight them. You gotta fight them day in and day out. So
you got to stay strong on that, and depending on where you're going with it, you got, once again, stay in it, stay on it, stay with it, because that ego will get in many people's way. And this is something the philosopher has talked about years ago. This is nothing new. It's all about whether or not you want to use the information for your benefit. Plain and simple. All right, this is one a topic, brother Husky Hefe, that a lot of people have been dealing with and I think it's critical, dealing with the health journey.
Right.
Let's talk about your perspective, and we're gonna dive into this one.
Okay. As far as the health journey, I am currently on mine, and I think it July was a wake up call for Husky Hefe himself, Josh. It was a wake up call for me, and just a little backstory on the situation that occurred. I was at the park walking with my daughter and wife, and we took a little break. So I laid in the grass, just chilling in the grass, doing my just being free. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daddy ain't do this with me, but I'm gonna do this with my baby girl. So I got her throwing her up in the air playing. So I lay back in the grass, and lo and behold, I don't know when it happened, but I got bit on the back of my neck. And so I didn't feel it or anything, but days went by and it just started to swell and swell. And I'm like, whoa, like, what's going on? And I'm like, So I was trying to lay down as the days coming. I couldn't lay on my left side, and I tried to lay on my right side. It just wasn't working. So I went to the ER in Clarksville. We ain't gonna talk about that ER, but nevertheless, I ain't want to put him out there, man. But
hey, you ain't putting them out there, but that's why they are fighting to get them other hospitals up there, though.
Yeah,
I mean, realistically, there's no competition when there's no competition.
Hello, so that I can do what y'all want.
What business you in? If there's no competition, there's no competition, and better service come when you got better competition. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, so I went to Tenova. They gave me Tylenol and some medicine. Like, I don't know, man. But I went to sleep. I tried to wait like 2 days. I went to sleep. It just went work until I woke up, went to Vanderbilt. So I went to Vanderbilt, and they got a lot of things squared away. But while I was at Vanderbilt, I found out A1C was high. A1C was high, which is a hemoglobin test to kind of dictate if you diabetic or not. So, and blood sugar was high. Blood pressure was high. Now, blood pressure, of course, when you're in pain, is going to kind of fluctuate because your body's trying to fight off stuff. So, of course, that was like don't get too strung up on it. But nevertheless, I ended up in the hospital for 3 days in a hospital bed. That's my longest stay I ever had at a hospital. I always been a bigger guy, but I always been go to the doctors, get checkups and stuff, and they just look at me and be like, man, your vitals is good. You just got to eat less. And I'm from down south. I don't know how to eat less. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I stayed in that hospital and I learned, they gave me the diagnosis of diabetic, gave me all this medicine, right? All this medicine. And when I was laid up in the bed, I just started to think, I got a daughter who about to turn 1 year old, and I'm like, I ain't ready to leave her. And I got a wife. We've been married now, recent anniversary. We've been married 9 years, together 14. I ain't ready to leave her. So, you know what I'm saying? I got mama, nieces, nephews, and I'm like, I don't want to leave my folks. So I'm laid up on that bed, and I realized, I'm like, hey, bro, it happened for a reason, because it was just a bite. You know what I'm saying? And they was crazy. They kind of took their focus off the bite. They gave me some antibiotics, like, hey, but you know what I'm saying? The more important thing they was telling me was, this diabetes thing. So I left the hospital and I left, you know what I'm saying? I had moments in the hospital where I broke down, I broke down crying like, man, this ain't what it's supposed to be. And I try to say, I think I spoke about this on like my TikTok and stuff. The situation I felt like it tried to break me, because at one point I was in a pain 10 and they weren't even, I'm at Vanderbilt, right? They got that great name, but they weren't listening. I'm like, bro, I'm hurting. And as a black man, if I get up and I explode, now you want to call security and be upset, but they left me in pain for like 2 hours. And I'm like, if y'all can leave me in here and in pain, they didn't want to give us a private room with me and my wife. We had to share a room. And I'm just like, I don't want to play these hospital games. So after I left that hospital, I said, man, I don't care how bad my legs hurt. Bro, I've been walking, exercising, putting it in. Hey, I'm changing the way I eat and just really focusing on that. And, I just use my health journey I always say on my thing, I ain't preaching to nobody. I'm talking to myself. My video
Right.
logs is for me to look back and be like, Josh is talking to Josh. Josh is talking to his future self. I don't want y'all to think, oh man, he think he went through it and he preaching to me. No, I'm not preaching. I'm preaching to Joshua. I'm gonna look back on this and like, dang, I came a long way. So I'm on that journey, and yeah, I think I felt like everything happened for a reason. That one bite, I felt like, God, universe, however people like to put it put me in that position to be like, hey, bro, wake up. Because it was telltale signs that I was ignoring. I'll be honest.
That's the catch. That's the catch. A lot of time when family members lose, especially at a young age, or other people due to heart attacks and stuff like that, everybody can go back and say, well, this was the signs that they was healthy, and no one done anything about it. You know what I'm saying? And then last week on the show, we had Jack. She was on the show and she explained her losing her sister at the age of 40, and she was 42, and she was like, hey, you know what? I want to be here. I got to do something. Something has to change.
Yeah.
And we get to this point, man, and I don't share this. I don't say this lightly, but I like to share it. Is that the weight is not going to come off immediately because you didn't immediately put it on.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody want this weight to come off, but we got to be realistic and identify that we have to put together a lifestyle change. That's the first thing. Not necessarily a diet. And she was talking about when she was dealing with a diet, she would go from a 10 to a 24. It just fluctuates. Because that's what a diet does to you, because a diet is not permanent. But when you begin to change your lifestyle, everything begin to change. You know what I'm saying? When you a person that did not go walking after a dinner, now you walking after the meal, but now the food is just not sitting on you. You got to make changes that's going to be beneficial for you. So just like you sit and say, you can look back and say, hey, I done this. And this has nothing to do with nobody else. You sharing your story. And then I got a guy, but he's a trainer now. I wanted him to come on the show tonight, but I know he had a lot of stuff to do. He too was in a situation where he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him, hey man, you got to do something to get this weight off. And he said, shoot, you didn't tell him twice. And he went from, lifting massive weights and eating to, he said, but his thing was, I need to focus on about 6 hard months of cardio and eating right. And then as he began to learn about the importance of health, then that's where he got into this training thing. And now what was set to be a lifestyle change is now a career for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that seen him prior to being in the high 300s or middle 300s to seeing him now and at about a solid 260, hey, they want to know what's the formula. He tell them, eating right, number one, being consistent with your workout, number two, and number three, understanding that you got to do this every day. You got to do something to make yourself effective for you.
Right.
And so that's why I think these stories are so important, man, when you're dealing with health journeys.
So, like, I think one of the things, and I said this was supposed to happen because not this year, but the year previously, I was on a plant-based vegan food truck with a couple of my brothers and partners. And, I made the menu and kind of was starting to really kind of dive into it like, oh, man, you can make, plant-based things good. So I was like, but I still had my reluctancy, like, yeah, whatever. And so then I go and get an opportunity to cook at this place, Vibes Market, up in on Fort Campbell, and that was also plant-based, and I started to see, people liking it. I'm like, hey, you can make this good. But I say all this was like, it was just, I look at it like this was steps. It was steps. Am I plant-based? No. Now, do I look and try and find better produce and things of that nature? Yes. I went to the farmers market in Nashville over there. Where is it? It's the main one out there downtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, find better produce from locally grown stuff and outsource. And I try to find like more local meats and stuff like that if I do eat it, because you know it's more protected. But the biggest thing in this health journey, like you said, is it's a lifestyle change. So I was pulling up right here. I kind of track my walking now, and I can say, I'm just gonna give you some stats real quick. Early July was when I was in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I get July 6th, that's probably the time I get out. July 6th to July 12th, I did nothing as far as walking, right? Then I started recording it. The next week, I got 3.86 miles, 6.12 the next week, 6, then it jumps. Now I'm walking 13 miles a week, 15 miles a week. And it's like, do your bones get sore? Yeah, you pushing weight, but you know what I'm saying? It's like making this, okay, after we eat, let's go walk. You know what I'm saying? Talking to the family. Let's, you know what I'm saying? When I eat, hey, this is something maybe people say is weird, but as I eat, I try to stand up and eat. Why? So it can better digest. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But it is a lifestyle change. And one thing I do on this health journey, I don't get hung up on the numbers too much as far as like stepping on the scale. And so people say, how much you lost? It ain't about how much you lost, because I'm getting in that mode. And once that body is in that mode, it catches. So when it starts happening, hey man, it's going to happen. But yeah, that's the biggest thing with this health journey.
I had trainer Rob came on last week, and one thing he explained to a lot of people: stay off the scale. Stay off the scale, because a lot of people get discouraged with the scale. Because what you have to understand, if you are effectively, I keep using this word effectively today, if you are working out and you are using weights, you are changing your fat to a denser muscle. Mm-hmm. And until your body catches up, it's going to appear like you losing weight, but you also gaining weight. You gaining muscle mass. So you got to be real careful with standing on that scale, because that scale can discourage you, because you may be losing inches, but you may not be losing the pounds, because you massing it, or it has been massed with the weight, you know, that you have gained, but it's muscular weight. And that's a positive thing. You just got to stay consistent, keep your cardio up, you continue to eat right. At the end of the day, you got to do all of that in order to stay productive.
And I think I'm more locked in too, because all the medicine they gave me, I looked at it.
Somebody asked, where is this brother from? He looked very familiar, like I worked with him years ago at a child lockdown facility. You ever worked at one of those?
I worked at Oak Plains and U Villages.
You got that? Changes are necessary. He said he worked at Oak Plains and U Villages. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. He'll respond.
But yeah, like I said, my biggest thing with the health thing too, why I'm changing and really focusing on, like you said, changing the habits, is I ain't with medicine. I tried it, and I'm very, so even let me tell you this too. This is to the people, if you're listening. If you in the hospital and you going through something, you better know a little something to talk to them about, because they will try to play you, and they will try to push medicine. I know some medicine is necessary, but you better know. So I was talking to the people, and they was like, "Oh, insulin," and I'm reading what is it, Grain Brain? It's a book called Grain Brain, and it talks about insulin, and you know, insulin it promotes growth. So fat growth, but it's like, I can't do it, dog. I can't do it, dog. So I was like, yeah, I just got to change it. I just got to get to it. So,
I mean, but you got to know your body, and you got to be determined to do it. Like about a year ago, as I was already losing weight and getting weight and doing good, my doctor came to me and said, "Hey, you want to try this Ozempic?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Well, I'm gonna write the prescription anyway, so you can pick it up." I said, "You can write the prescription now if you want. I'm not picking that up. I'm not saying that if for people that need it for a health reason, whatever, to get you together, hey, go right ahead.
No doubt.
My thing is, I'm at the space where I can control and I can make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So when I went back to the doctor, he was like, "Oh, you really didn't need that." I said, "I told you that." I'm not one of these people that say one thing and do another. I said, "No, I'm gonna have so much weight out by this time." And when I came back, he was like, "Wow." But I asked him, when you was this fat doctor, I mean, I was real with him. When you was this fat doctor, when I first came to you, man, he had this package of pills that he take every day. It's about 12 different pills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just asked him, how does that look to tell your patients about being healthy and you don't even look healthy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
But he said when I went back to him a year later, he came, man, he probably dropped by 50 pounds. He dropped by 50 pounds, and he told me, he said he had to really listen to what his patient was saying. His patient was saying, how do you want us to take the advice of you when you look like us?
Mm-hmm.
And so he said he had to find out what worked for him because he didn't want to be on that medication anymore. And so what he done was started walking. Number one, after dinner. That was the first thing he started doing. And then he found him a plate, and it was a small plate. And he said he didn't change his diet in the beginning, but whatever he was able to get on that small plate, that's what he ate.
Yeah.
So what he done was he's cut his portion size in half immediately. You know what I'm saying? And then with anything, when you start doing the right things, you want to do more right things. And you want to begin to bring in other exercise, other cardio, and other healthy ways of living. And before you know it, that became a pattern that he got addicted to, same as he was addicted to the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell this to everyone, we all can make changes for our lives. You just got to want it. You got to want it more than not want it. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you this, man. With everything you got going on, how do you identify work-life balance for you?
I mean, work-life balance to me is when I'm done working or doing what type of work I do, because I do a plethora of things. When I turn it off, it's off. And I make sure, like, I like to tap in with the wife. So that means us taking our walks and us having our talks and stuff. So, and some of the talks be hard talks, some talks that we gotta have to, you know what I'm saying, to better understand each other, but understand where we're trying to go and how we're trying to grow. So that's the biggest thing. I take walks and talks with the wife, with the family. Well, my baby girl, she don't listen right now. She about to be 1, but she ain't listening. But man, when I turn off, I'm sorry. When I'm gone from whatever work it is, it ain't much we can talk about. It ain't much you can call or say to me. Like when I clock back in the morning, or whenever I get ready to do it again, let's talk. We can talk about it. But I turn it off. Because it's nothing but noise. And I try to, keep out of, when I'm down from work, not try to get too lost into the social media space as well, because I understand that ain't healthy if you have too much of it. And having businesses and things like that I'm trying to run and get to and do, you can get online to post some, and then next thing you know, you find yourself scrolling. So I hop on, post it, hop off. Like my personal page is usually advertising for a podcast or supporting a brother or somebody doing something. I ain't on there giving my thoughts and stuff no more, because you know what I'm saying, it can be a downward spiral. So work-life balance, when it's work, I'm working. When it's off, I'm off. So,
and let me tell you this, man. I think it's good that how old are you, Josh?
I'm 34.
Okay, you're 34. So many things. One is this life experience and how important it is. Because, from us, you're a young man. And they was pretty much about to start counting you out at the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Redis Bland, what's up, Gomar? He identified that Big Pharma is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. And so you got to understand that you're right. You got to know this stuff for yourself, because a lot of times medication is all about masking. It's not about curing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's about masking. And then that you found and have found a work-life balance, I think that is critical even to your health. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
So many people that have come on the show and people that I talk to on the norm, work-life balance is almost like a foreign enemy.
Yeah.
They know about it, but they haven't gained what that's supposed to look like for them. You know what I'm saying? So I think right now at this time of your life, as you trying to get your health together, have your family together, and find that work-life balance and continue to do it, man, you need to continue on doing what works for you while you can, because as you move up in life, you may not be able to have that leisure time to be able to shut things off and go do what you got to do. So, but while you can, make the best of it, bro.
All right.
All right, man. We got one more. If, like I said, if you got anything you want to ask me, man, feel free at any time. If not, it's all good. Experimenting with life.
Mm-hmm. Experimenting with life. Like I said, when you look at life, we don't have all the answers. We can try as best to understand through religion, spirituality. We still don't have all the answers. And so experimenting with life is just a mindset that I have. Just go out to try things. Keep trying things. Something's gonna happen, and maybe you just trying just to try and have fun, but or maybe you're trying as far as business and being successful. But if you don't try and experiment, then you'll never know what works. So you'll end up, you know what I'm saying, when your number is called, whenever it's called, you'll end up looking back over. Let's say your soul is leaving and it's like, man, I'm just finna get a glimpse back. Did I do everything I was supposed to? Dang, I ain't never go fishing with Chop. Dang, I ain't never just sit down and had tea with my mama for real. But you had the opportunity, but you didn't want to experiment because you're like, man, I don't know, man. This ain't it. This ain't. So experimenting with life, just taking your chances and opportunities, and whatever opportunity there is that present itself, like try it, have fun, shoot for the stars. Like I said, I was picked when I talked about being in theater. I was picked to be in theater. Somehow, I don't know how, but I wanted to do drumming, right? All we wanted to do is, you know what I'm saying, let's drum. They like, nah, Josh, you got to do theater. I'm like, what? So I go and I'm like, man, whatever. I'm just going to make the best. I'm going to experiment with this. Ended up being great at it. You know, being great at it. So it's like just experiment with all the things that come. Like, don't block none off. Like, you ain't too cool. You don't look stupid. Like, taking all that negative jargon that may come to your head, like what he may think about, what she may think. So, is you in the lab experimenting? Is you mixing up?
Conversation today, man, and I tell people all the time, I have never gave a care about what other people think about me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you don't give a care what I think about you. You may not want to know what I think about you, because I don't take time to even care to have a thought about, other people. Right. But this thing that you got with experiment with life, to me, it brings me to a deeper perspective, such as, how do you know where you are successful if you never tried?
Yeah.
I would not want to live a life of regret and resentment because I was always too fearful and stayed on the porch and didn't want to jump off the porch to try something new. Everyone in most companies or business or individuals have gone through something where they was not successful in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they tried something else and tried something else. Many businesses that become successful don't necessarily become successful because I guarantee you, if you look up the research, that wasn't the original business plan. You had to learn to fail go through a level of failure. You got to fall in order to identify what is it that you do well and where you need to make improvements. Mm-hmm. And that's with all of us. Not only do you do it with a business model, but you got to do it with self.
Yeah.
And once you're able to do it with self, then you can do it with a business because you understand the critical pieces, and the critical pieces sometimes is you. Sure. And a lot of times we don't want to jump off that porch.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid we might hurt ourselves.
Man,
but we
experiment. It's I mean, I can go on, man. It's the Husky Lab. You know, you see how I'm tying all this in?
No, I use that example one time because myself, I was a biology major in college, but chemistry and physics minor, and I use that analogy that you use is man, sometimes when things don't work, you gotta go back to that lab and you gotta start mixing stuff and you gotta do some titrating in order for that stuff.
Watch out now. Watch out now.
I speak the jargon, big dog. I speak it. You gotta do some titrating, and then sometimes you gotta heat one thing up so it can separate itself from the next thing, so you can get the pureness of what one thing is. But you cannot be scared to go into mix stuff. As long as you know what don't mix with one thing, that does not mean that you can't go in there and try something new. And who knows? You might create a whole new drug. You might create a whole new business. You might create something that you never imagined, but you can't be scared to go create.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Let me give a shout out to, I think it's a little AAU team. What's his name? Josh Smith played for the Atlanta Hawks. I think he got a AAU team. It's a girl went to school. Shout out to Shay Carter. But my bad, I don't know if we're supposed to name drop. But anyway, her son plays AAU. And I was seeing they were showing like these highlights, and I saw they had this little phrase, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm using that. So I'm giving them their credit right now. It said it ain't wins and losses, it's win or learn.
Mm-hmm.
So you either win, you don't lose, you don't fail, you learn from it. So like you said, when we experimented, hey, when they had to make these drugs that they give you, the first test wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? They had to go right back to the I mean, like medication.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you because, man, it's very important for people to do research on certain things because you will understand that there's a level of failure in it. That means that they don't expect it to even treat everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you might have a effect, an adverse reaction to it, and they already know it may happen. You know what I'm saying? So if they get sued for a couple of million, they done made a couple of billions.
Talking.
So you got to look at things for what it is. So that's what's up. What else you got for me, man, before we wrap this thing up?
Oh man, I know you said in college you did you did ballet, didn't it? You did something like ballet. You did
about the gymnastics.
I need to know, how did you get in that again? What happened with that? But
then like us when we started in the biology, the pre-med, you got all these biology classes, you got these physics, you got these chemistry classes. And so when I finished all that stuff up, my last semester, man, I needed 24 credit hours. So to me, that's basic 8 classes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, which is totally different from the 4-hour class, the 5-hour class with a 2.5 and a 3 or 4 hour layup. And so I went to get it approved to the dean, and the dean said that's a lot of classes. Was it 8? 8 times 3 is 24. Yeah. He said that's a lot of classes. Why should we approve this? I understand you want to get out, and I said, well, one, this last semester I'm paying out my own pocket. That's number one.
Okay.
Number 2 is I feel that I can do this, and he was like, yeah, that's a lot of classes. So I said, well, let me break it down to you. And I start breaking down, physics. is a 5-hour course. You come to class 4 hours, and then you got a 4-hour layup.
Right.
Chemistry is a 3-hour course, and then you got a 2 to 3 hour layup. Biology the same way. If you take 4 of those classes, you already classroom hours, not credit hours. Classroom hours, you already in the 20-something hours worth of credits. And he was like, I never heard it put like that. And so he signed it. So I'm going through, and I just needed, man, just general core classes, man. And I had signed up for, I needed one more class, and I had signed up for Gym 101. Think we're going to be in there shooting some hoop or playing some badminton? I don't know. I didn't give a care. I just needed 3 little simple credit hours, man. And then when I go to the class, I'm like, where is this class at? I'm thinking, it's in the Dunn Center, but I'm like, why is it pointing me all the way upstairs? And so I get all the way upstairs, man. It's the gym. It's the actually it was the whole class was a lot of football players that had finished their school and their scholarship, and they became cheerleaders to get the cheerleading scholarship, and they working on their masters and stuff. And I'm up in there, I'm like, and they looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm looking at them like. And then the teacher came in, it was Dr. Host, and she came in and said, "Welcome to Gymnastics 101." And I'm saying like, gymnastics, but it explained why you got all this equipment up here, man. And I'm like, man, there's no way in the world I'm gonna do this. But man, I'm just thank God that there was no cell phones back then, because because it was a mess. I didn't do nothing. It was terrible. It was horrible.
I was gonna say rated from 1 to 10. 10, you having the best fun of your life. Or what was it?
It was horrible. It was a 0.
Ooh,
it was a 0, man. I didn't know nothing about doing no floor routines, backward flips, and cartwheels. And man, I didn't do that.
You weren't being free, bro. You weren't free in your mind.
I was free in my mind, and I almost really broke my damn neck. Hey, man, I was trying my best to get that stuff, nigga. I wanted my A. And man, it got so bad that Dr. Hope told me, get up that ground before you kill your damn self.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I am finna pivot into another question, right?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I got a couple podcasts I done started and do from time to time. What keeps you motivated to keep, go in day out and day, what's yours? What keeps you motivated?
It's bigger than the podcast. The podcast is just me using to get information for what I do on my coaching and consulting business.
Okay. So with your coaching and consulting business, they're more like what I'm trying to say, more kind of like corporate employee type coaching, or
education, corporate leadership, and dealing with teams. The goal is to teach people to become better people in the workplace. And sometimes you got to understand that supervisors, you got a lot of supervisors really don't know their leadership style.
Okay.
So it's my thing to help people to come in touch with their leadership style, to understand that it's very important to, what works for Chick-fil-A may not work for Popeyes.
For sure.
What Walmart do, I sure hope you ain't using what Kmart does. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, even though you got companies like you got McDonald's that is successful, don't mean that it's going to equate to Burger King.
I like that.
Because you got to continue to identify what works for you and your audience according to your employees, and what is the outcome that you're trying to get.
You really just said something, especially with that analogy of Chick-fil-A, because we started to see the rise of the 2 drive-through, and nobody hits it as effective as Chick-fil-A. I've not seen one company that's just as good as Chick-fil-A or even close to them. So it's like, what works for me, you can't do it. And like you said, you're out here preaching, boy.
You can go to some places, they don't only have 2, they got 4. They got 4. And then they also got a walk-up. Yeah. One in Atlanta, right by this, I think it was the SunTrust baseball stadium. You can actually walk up to it. and the lines are still on, but they moving them. They moving them from the drive-through, from the inside to the walk-through. They moving them, and that was the first time I ever seen a walk up. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, sometimes you got to do what works for you, and then sometimes looking at them having Sundays off, man. That motivates people to work because Saturdays is the most of the time people is calling out. Yeah. And so, I just look at it from, a management perspective. In some businesses, because you got a lot of young folks, they want to go party on Saturday night and they're not going to be here on Sunday. Where in their situation, whether or not you're going to be in church on Sunday, whatever you're going to do, hey, let's go ahead and finish Saturday, close it off at a decent time, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. And you still got your whole weekend if you're young to live or to just chill and relax. And then you got Sunday, just like everybody else to be off. So you got a whole lot of perks to go with that. But at the same time, you got to find what works for that company, that person, that manager, as well as those employees.
So I ain't gonna hold. I can go on and on. I do the podcast thing too. But so this next question is leadership. Leadership. Now, I want you to speak on is leadership, as far as you look and assess people and stuff nowadays versus back in the day, is it less leaders than it was back in the day? And what may be the cause of, if it is a downshift in leadership, as far as like that you've seen?
I don't think it's there's less leaders. I don't think it's less leaders. I think there's a lot of leaders that don't know or understand what leadership is. And if you have worked up under some leaders, you understand what a good leader was because they have molded you and you have seen the role modeling as to what that looks like. And then you have also probably seen somebody that was terrible. And you know what I'm saying? And that whole perspective is where my second book I want to work on is going to be titled Leadership by Default. Because sometimes you got some people that become a leader because there's no one else. Because all the people that would have been leaders have left the organization and gone and moved to other places. But on the flip side, there's ways and steps to ensure that that person that came to leadership by default can become equipped. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a whole nother book, a whole nother day.
What would you say your leadership style is?
It's servant leadership mixed with transformational leadership. I'm the type person, man, I want to show people what it is I expect from them, and I want them to, in turn, take that and take ownership in doing their day-to-day tasks. And that's the whole idea of what the R.A.W approach is, dealing with respect, appreciate, and organization worthiness, feeling worthy. And when people feel that they have an organization worthiness, man, they're going to come to work and continue to give you ideas, give you their heart, sweat, and tears. They're going to give it to you because they feel that they are making an impact. Yeah. But people don't feel that they are making an impact, they realize this is not it for them.
Yeah. Well, that's all my questions, man.
All right. Well, do this for me, man. As we wrap up, leave the audience with a closing remark.
Closing remarks from Joshua Gray, Husky Hefe, the Fat Fitness model, Jose Cortez himself. Can't forget Jutro, Jutro. Nevertheless, y'all, smile and enjoy life. Look for the beauty in life in all situations. Just look for the beauty in it. Take a step back. If you're having a bad day, see what's your part in it. And once you can identify your part in it, that's when you can turn everything around. That's when you can be transformational about and intentional about having a better day and just doing better and enjoying it and smiling, man. Life is an experiment, so experiment with life and be great.
What's up, man? I appreciate that. Hey, audience, let's give it up for Brother Husky Hefe in the house, man. We appreciate you coming and sharing with us, sharing your experiences, sharing your life, man, just giving us a wealth of information as how things have impacted you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. Audience, remember, same time, same bat station. We're going to be here next week with a new guest with some more information. So remember, small victories lead to greater success. I am Dr. Woods, and you have just been hit by the R.A.W.